G'day, Steve Morgan here on the Clarence River for the Maui Jim round of the 13Fishing Bass Pro Series. I've got the boater winner here, Taigan Heath. Taigan, you're fishing one of the smallest boats in the field, probably one of the slowest boats in the field, but you took home $3,500 for catching the biggest bag of 10 bass this weekend. How does it feel to finally get a win under your belt for ABT?
Yeah, it's great, mate. Absolutely stoked, especially on the home river, so it makes it all the sweeter.
Mate, you'd leave the starts in the morning and there would be boats flogging past you left, right and centre, but slow and steady wins the race. So tell us a little bit about your rig.
Just a 4.5 metre bluefin bush ranger, centre console with a 70 horsepower Suzuki on the back.
Yep.
It's just a good all-round boat. It's not the quickest boat to the spots, but just get there and tuck in and get the job done. So.
Previous events here on the Clarence, you've gone way up the Orara River. And you said something about you didn't have to love your boat too much if you wanted to do that, to take it in some of the places you take it.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal up there, and you can't be worried about getting a scratch on your boat. It is a long way. It's much further to go to the Orara than go to McLean, so that was a bit of a relief. Although I just love fishing up there. It's just awesome. It's overhangs, it's shade all day, and shallow, clear water and sand spits and stuff. It's just ultimate bass fishing. Whereas where I went today, just probably the complete opposite. It's more like a brim. Type of fishing spot, but just you got to go where you got to go to get it sort of done.
You went to the Orara and won nothing. You went to McLean and won $3,500. So I know what goes all right.
100%, yeah. McLean every day of the week when it's like that. But I hope the fish wouldn't have been on the reef. I knew the rain come, and they were probably going to travel. I got some good oil off a couple of the boys, thanks Stewie and Tom. That there was, and they were just them little male fish down there. Their grandfather was catching them quite thick, and I thought, oh well, I've got nothing. I went to the Coppenhurst on pre-fish all the way back to Grafton, and I got one hit just above Sealands, so I pretty much had nothing. So I chucked the boat on the trailer, went to Lawrence, poked down to McLean, and thought that was me for the weekend. So yeah,
It worked out being a pretty good plan. Tell us about your strategy once you got to the reef. What did you do and what did you throw?
So the oil was that the fish was sitting behind one particular rock, so I literally went down there, spot locked. Set myself up so I could cast at a bit of a 45-degree angle with the tide, and just dredged plastics, hard bodies, blades, anything I could. Just kept changing through me lures, and just if you were bumping the bottom, there was a good chance you were going to catch fish. So, and it was just wasn't the perfect style of bass fishing, but we were catching fish. Non-boater was catching fish. We were having a good time. It was just a good day in the water. So.
You had Corey Goldie today, and you had Jill Wales on day one. Both of those non-boaters ended up in the top 10. A very non-boater friendly spot.
Yeah, it was, and that's the beauty of McLean. Like, you go up the Orara and stuff, and they can cast across the creek and things like that, and get the odd fish. But it's more of a, you can cast 360 degrees down there at the reef, as you know. It's one of your favourite spots. So it's good to see. It's always good when non-boaters catch fish too. So.
Take us through your tackle. This is, I know you said you threw a variety of lures, but take us through one of your favourite outfits here that you need to pull out those the fish from the reef.
Well, literally, I use my barra gear for my bass fishing mostly. So these are just rods that I had packed in for basically my brim rods. I had them in the rack in the boat, and I didn't think I'd have to get them out. But when I went to McLean, that sort of come into play. So just a mate makes those rods. It's a Gemtech fishing rod. I am with Toddy, so I do run the Dobbins and the NS as well, but that's just a good little lightweight brim stick that you can just throw all day. It's got the Sunline 6 pound on it and Sunline FC Rock leader. I was running all different types of lures, jig heads, beetle spins, rev heads, or whatever they call them things. I think the standout probably was that little Daiwa. And I don't even know what it's called. It come in a kit that my young fella got for Christmas. I flogged it. I thought I love just chartreuse is my favourite lure. So if it's chartreuse, I'm throwing it. And that's probably one thing down there on the weekend. Mostly apart from some black gold grubs, I was just throwing chartreuse.
Yep.
But yeah, that was probably the standout. I gave one to Jill yesterday, and she ended up filling a bag on that little lure. Corey, he got a good fish straight up there this morning on some sort of slider or a little green one, which looked ugly. And I was like,
you're looking at him going, he's not going to catch on that.
It was sort of half bent, and he didn't trim his tag in, and I sort of half going, this bloke's, what's going on here? And he just whacked it second cast, and I sort of, you know what it's like, you sort of half rattles you. You go, you're happy for him, but at the same time you're like, shit, that's probably a fish that would have been good in my bag, particularly sitting in second. So, and then I got a fish, and then he got another one. I'm like, ooh, I hope this holds up. He ended up getting his third fish in his bag, and he said, I'll have a spell for a sec, which was very, very gentlemanlike of him. But then I whacked me bag real quick, so we're both back into them. And it was just a nice day on the water. Everything sort of slowed up around 10 o'clock, but it's all right when you sort of.
When you're on top of the scoreboard.
Yeah, Corey checked the scoreboard, and you can never be too sure in these app events because there's always the dark horse that doesn't put their score in, and next minute they've jumped up the field. But I think you even said you can sit down and have your lunch, but I just kept casting all weekend, and I think that was the key. Just have a lure in the water, and your chance of getting the fish. There was prawns and stuff flicking down there. It felt good in the little part that I was in. There was just a little bit of tide on it for most of the day, and when that tide stopped, it really slowed down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, plenty of fish down there, and it's always different. Every tournament, different spot, different techniques get it done. Great to see revving out the brim gear for that one, mate, because in a few months' time, you're getting rid of that brim gear. You put the barra gear in for the barra tour, mate. I know we were talking earlier about you've got an instant qualification to the grand final at St Clair where you can fish for a $60,000 bluefin and mercury combo, but if it's a choice between that and the barra tour, what are you doing?
I think it's barra tour every day of the week. It's awesome. So again, I'll always give the barra tour a plug because I think it's probably the best event on the calendar as far as ABT events. It's just awesome. And the barra guys are a different breed. They're so helpful. They want to see you catching fish, and nothing better than smacking barra.
There you go. So you can catch brim, you can catch barra, and you can catch bass. There's your champion from the Maui Jim round of the 13Fishing Bass Pro Series, Taigan Heath. You have cracked the ABT cherry, mate. Well done.
Thanks, mate. That was awkward.
One more.
You.
That's how you do it.